Okay, so things that my pathologically lying ex-husband lied about. Backstory. I'm gonna try to get as much of this as I can into this video, because I hate when people say follow for part two, but I'm gonna try. All right, backstory number one. We met in March of 2020. Georgia got shut down, locked down 2.5 weeks later. We got married January of 2021, and we were divorced August of 2021. So keep in mind that this story is spanning March of 2020 until about June of 2021, because I kicked him out the house on his birthday. So we met online, Facebook dating and Hinge. I will never do online dating again, but that is where I met him. My tire blew on 285 just before Boulder Crest, on my way to our first date. Clearly that was a sign. I didn't listen. But my tire blew, and he met me at a gas station. We were supposed to be meeting at Cheesecake Factory, but because the tire blew, he met me at a gas station, fixed my tire, then took me to go get another tire, paid for it. And I just thought, oh my God, this is the beginning of a beautiful romantic story. Boy, was I wrong. So, things he lied about. Every morning he would get on the phone with his brother. We'll call his brother John. He would get on the phone with John, and he would be like, hey, babe, John said good morning. And I'm in the bathroom doing my hair because I still had to go to work at this time. And so I would just say, hey, John, call out, hey, John. And, he would relay back and forth what I said to John, what John said to me. I never actually talked to John on the phone. And so he would be like, I can't wait for COVID to be over. Me and my girl, we're going to come see y'all. I can't wait for Auntie to meet her. Side note, his parents are deceased, excuse me. So he was like, I can't wait for you guys to meet her. Like, I know I'm gonna marry her. I know it. He said everything I wanted to hear. Love bombing 101. This man wrote the book. So he talked to his brother every day. He talked to his friends every day in front of me. He would be on the phone laughing, cutting up, cracking jokes, telling them, hey, she said, hey, just having conversation like a normal conversation. I didn't think anything of it. It wasn't until he got kicked out of my house in June of 2021 that I found out every single phone call was made up. He was never on the phone. I don't know. Those of you who are watching, you're probably like, there's no way. Listen to what I'm saying. Everything I'm telling you can be verified. Every single phone call he ever had was made up. The phone calls where he called to pay his car off, made up. The phone call to the realtor when we were looking at houses, made up. The phone call to the bank for them to release the money for the house that he signed his name for, made up. Every phone call was made up. His brother, every day, he and his brother had not spoken since 2015 when his mother died. I found that out later on. He made up every phone call. He had no friends, but yet every phone call would be my friend this, my friend that. The second lie, his job. He told me when I first met him out the gate that he was a VP at his company. He had been transferred from California to Georgia, and he was in the process of, getting himself settled. He was looking to buy a house. His job was VP of a major condiment company. I won't say the name because I don't want to get sued. But he said that his job was VP at that company. It is fair to note he paid every bill. He paid all the bills. He gave me spending money. Like, even though we were quarantined, locked down in my little townhouse, again, this story was always he's trying to buy a house. So when we got together, it was we need to buy a house together. Like, this is forever. We're going to have a family. Let's go ahead and find a house. So the lie was that he was a VP at his company. And he maintained that lie every day. Truth is, he was a temp. He called me from work all the time. I may have to make a different video to explain how he was able to lie with the work stuff. So he would call me and he would pretend to reprimand employees who couldn't see that he had a Bluetooth thing in his ear. He would pretend to reprimand them in front of me. He would pretend to take phone calls from the company president who needed his help on something. He forged emails that he showed me from the company president asking him, you know, we need to get this up and running. We need to do this project. We need to do that. It is scary how brilliant he was and how much energy he put into the lie. But he was a temp. He was a temp forklift driver. There's nothing wrong with a forklift driver. But he was pretending to be a VP. Third lie, housing. He told me he was looking to buy a house. We got together and we started looking at houses. I found a beautiful 5-bedroom, 6-bath house in Smyrna, Georgia that was gorgeous. It was brand new construction build, and I love the house. The house was listed for $699,000. He showed me paperwork from Chase Bank saying that he was approved for a mortgage for $750,000. Yeah. I watched as he put in an all-cash offer on this $699,000 house. I watched him sign his name to a legally binding document for an all-cash offer. The reason why the house fell through was because the builder did not want to finish the basement. We were requesting that the basement get finished. He did not want to, so he declined our offer and took the offer of another couple who didn't need the basement finished. That's the only reason why that house fell through. I see now where God's grace protected me because, well, it really protected him because legally I was not his wife, so I was not on the mortgage for that home. So, third lie had to do with housing. Fourth lie had to do with baby. So, I got pregnant, lost the baby. I was sad at the time. I am not anymore. But lost the baby, had to have a D&C. When I was in the hospital, the doctor called him to let him know, you know, she'll be discharged. Because again, this is COVID, so you could not go in the hospital at the time when I had the surgery. So the doctor called him and said, you know, she's going to be released in an hour and a half. He pretended to be his own executive assistant. And so he said, you know, Mr. James is in a board meeting, but I'm his executive assistant, David. How can I help you? You can let me know what's going on. Obviously, the doctor wouldn't do that. So she just said, you know, please let him know that Miss So-and-so will be ready for pickup in an hour and a half. He told the doctor he's in a board meeting until about, for about another 30 minutes, and then he'll be on his way. I should have only been in the hospital for an hour and a half. I was there for 3 hours. Because again, he was a temp forklift driver, so he couldn't get off work. But I didn't know that at the time. So those are just some of the things that my pathological lying ex-husband did. There's so much more. I have severe PTSD. And I know it's my fault. I know that I did not trust myself. I did not pay attention to the United Nations of red flags. I did not pray. And I am paying the consequences for that. So there's nothing anyone can say to me, girl, you was dumb. I was desperate. I wanted to be married. I wanted a family. And I thought it was my turn. And instead, I got pulled into something my brain could not even comprehend. And guess what, guys? What I just told you, it's only 5% of the story. So yeah, let me know if anybody knows somebody at Lifetime. And also, if any of you got any sort of gift cards for Stella Rosa Black, I'll take those as well. That's my story.